actually we have a guest join us in the studio to look at the World Space Week as it affects us in Nigeria. Please help us welcome Engineer George Okpanachi. He is the National Chairman, Nigerian Institute of Space Engineers. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, and thank you also for giving me the privilege to be here to tell Nigerians more about space technology and the exploration in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Can I say happy World Space Week?
Thank you so much. All
right. So space, we know, is an integral part of the plan for Nigeria technological independence. So if we're using a telescope, what is the drive, the space drive in Nigeria so far?
Well, I want to tell you first that Nigeria is not doing bad in the area of space technology. Nigeria as a country has launched about 5 satellites into space: the Nigerian Sat-1, the Nigerian Sat-2, and the Nigerian Sat-X, which was wholly designed and built by Nigerian engineers and scientists. And as we speak, the satellites is still revolving in space. And also, Nigeria has built the Nigerian Communication Satellite 1 and also the Nigerian Communication Satellite 1R, which is a replacement for the Nigerian Communication Satellite 1, which we lost due to problem with the solar array mechanism.
Okay.
So, all right.
Oh, go ahead. I thought you were done.
And also, about 4 Nigerian students, in collaboration with other students from Ghana and some other nations, built a Cubesat in 2018 in Japan.
Okay, so the goal is to aid socio-economic development for the country. Have we really harnessed, the use of our space technology to improve that?
Yes, I would say we have not done very well, and at the same time, we've not done too bad. I would say we've not done too bad because sometimes in August, precisely August 24th, 2021, when we had the 5th Engineer Brigadier General M.O. Agbo, retired fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers annual distinguished lecture and the 4th conferment fellowship of the institution, NTA, and the management staff were presented an award. That is, the DG in particular was awarded an honorary fellowship of the Nigerian Institution of Space Engineers, and Engineer Dr. Moses Okpanachi, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, was also conferred with the fellowship of the Nigerian Institution of Space Engineers. And this was done because through their effort and the rest of the management staff, NTA switched over from Intelsat to Nigerian communication satellites, which has saved a lot of money for the country. And also a compliance with the Presidential Directive on Local Content.
Okay, and let's turn our attention to women, which is actually the focus for this week's World Space, the World Space Week, actually. Yes. Women in space, satellites to improve lives. What is the role of women in space technology? Do we really have, more women going into that?
Yes, in the Nigerian, in the National Space Research and Development Agency, which is the focal agency in terms of space exploration in Nigeria, and the Nigerian communication satellites, women are doing very well in this sector. We have women in the ground segment, we have women in the mechanical engineering section, and we also have women in the satellite system department. And we speak, a woman is the managing director, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Communication Satellite Limited. And as an institution of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, we are making effort at exciting the younger ones, particularly the girls, about space technology and education in Nigeria, and we will have a program for them next week.
Okay, because I was going to ask you how far your institute has gone in encouraging more girls going to space. Now, when we have more women in space technology, showing interest, what would that do for the nation?
Yes, women are, in every sector where we have women, they are not doing bad. And when we have more women in the space sector in Nigeria, it will contribute a lot to the socio-economic development. And it will also encourage our young girls to embrace not just space technology, but science and technology which will contribute to the overall development of the sector, because there's no country that can move forward without it doing very well in the area of science and engineering. So if we have women in space, it will encourage them. And as part of this, I think in 2018, the Prime Minister of Canada, who is also a space tourist, was in Nigeria here and was also at the National Space Research and Development Agency to speak to not just Nigerians, but the emphasis was on girls' child education, and a lot of them were invited for that program at the Obasanjo Space Center.
What about investment in space technology in Nigeria? Are we really having that?
The government is trying its best, but their best is not good enough. Recently, the Director General, Chief Executive Officer of National Space Research and Development Agency, Engineer Dr. Halilu Ahmad Shaba, emphasized on this and called for a different approach to the funding of space technology in Nigeria outside the annual budget. So, and also recently during the the Council on Space meeting chaired by our President, he called for a review of the space map in Nigeria.
So what's your message? This week is World Space Week. What's your message to Nigerians? How much interest do you want to see be given to space technology in the country?
I want to use this medium to tell Nigerians, not just the government, but the private sector, to come into the funding of space technology, as it has a lot to contribute to the socio-economic development of the nation. The satellites, as you said, as part of the team, Women in Space and Satellites for Betterment of Life, affects all spheres of our life, agriculture, to communication, to education, to weather prediction, etc. So the space has a lot to offer to the country, and I want to use this medium to call on private sector to invest in the sector, as it has a lot to offer the nation.
And of course, we want to see more women become astronauts. Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you,
time.
Thank
Engineer Okpanachi George. All right, let's